the deal. For the last 72 hours, I have been attempting to beat Stockfish from an impossible challenge. I, today, am going to attempt to defeat Stockfish. Yeah, okay, look at that. Dropped one. By offering it 4 pawns, which you can hardly see. I'm glowing. 4 pawns in the first 8 moves of the game. And for the last 2 days, I have been spending about 3 hours a day locked in my basement attempting to record a YouTube video. And so far, it's been a complete disaster. I haven't been able to do it yet. But today, I am so confident that I'm going to be able to win that today, I'm going to be performing this live on Twitch. All right. So here is what we are actually doing. Let's jump in on an analysis board here. I am going to attempt to play a very rare gambit. This is going to be the Four Pawns Gambit. And it's a really cool opening where I'm actually going to sacrifice half of my pawns in the first 8 moves to try to get a huge and tremendous initiative. And here's how the opening works. It's an e4, e5, bishop c4 opening. This is the bishop's opening. And it's one of my favorites if you want to play really crazy, wild stuff. If you want Nachmansons, if you want Urson Gambits, that kind of a stuff, you want to play the bishop's opening. But you got to be prepared in case your opponent decides to play something like bishop to c5. And a lot of people, especially on stream, have asked me, like, what do you do against this? So I want to give a couple different options that you can play. What I really like about this position is it actually allows you to kind of say who you really are as a human being, deep down on the inside. Like, if you're just a Johnny do-gooder that doesn't like to stir up trouble, you can just play knight to f3, develop your stuff, attack the center, play a beautiful move. But if you like a little bit of danger in your life, perhaps you've considered the Lewis Gambit, pawn to d4. But if you're a real wild maniac that absolutely doesn't care about anything, you might want to consider pawn to b4. And this is where we're going to be starting today. You can already see in the database that this is like the most rare thing ever. There are 2 games, which is in a way kind of surprising. It's classified as the McDonald Gambit. But we have a new idea. Instead of playing what's been played in the only game, which is c3, probably with the idea of d4, some sort of Evans Gambit, where you give away just one... Oh gosh, I'm stuck. 1 pawn. Stupid. We are going to be playing a radically different way with the alternative move, pawn to f4. And just to show you guys how rare this is, even on the Lee Chess database, so this is all of the games in played on this website, which is Blitz Rapid, Bullet, of every single rating. Most people are playing c3, d4, trying to play for the center. But there is an alternative move, pawn to f4, which we will be exploring tonight, with the idea that if black recaptures, we play knight f3, and we just want to develop our stuff. We want to get castled, and then we'll begin playing in the center, perhaps. But the reason nobody has ever heard of the Four Pawns Gambit, the reason it's so super rare, is it does require a little bit of cooperation from the black side. Here, black has to play a rather sophisticated maneuver. If black just decides to develop the pieces, either d6, knight f6, you're not going to be able... Oh gosh, the green screen. Thank goodness. Thank you, chat. You saved the video. If black just decides to develop the pieces, you're not going to be able to get this variation. So the only way we're going to get it is if black decides to do this deep, lofty maneuver, bishop to e7, which has this idea of delivering a check on h4. And actually, at first sight, this looks really annoying, because if we get checked, we might have to make some sort of a concession. Well, okay, so far we're 2 pawns down, and we are just going to grab the center, allowing black to give this big check on h4. And from this position, we don't want to move our king, we don't want to move our knight, we don't want to get distracted by the fact that somebody's just started taking a shower upstairs. We want to play the move pawn to g3. And after f takes, that's the 3rd pawn, we get to play the coolest move in the position, much safer and just the strongest move much safer than taking the pawn, taking the bishop, whatever, is just getting castled. And this is the start. After our h-pawn drops, we're 8 moves in, 4 pawns down. And this is the position where I'm actually going to have to try my hardest to beat Stockfish from today. Obviously, I'm tucking my king in the corner, but this is where we start. And I'm very confident that this is going to go incredibly well and that I will be able to beat Stockfish from this position. But in the spirit of truthfulness, let's look at the evaluation. 0, 0, 0. Most equal position I've ever seen in my life. 4 pawns down, 0, 0, 0. The most equal thing in all of history. But we'll see what happens. I actually think this is really good for the player with the white pieces. But here we go. Strength 8, level 8. I will take the white side. I will be 4 pawns down. Here we go. Are we ready for this? Okay, so d5 actually is the only move for black. We should slow down just a little bit, because I was already threatening some pretty nasty tactics on f7. And already, Stockfish has picked the greediest option. Bishop to h3 does just win a rook. My rook's trapped. Looking around, I don't see anywhere for my rook to go. I mean, I've made my intentions clear. I do not care about material, so I am going to develop my pieces. I really don't know if I can do this on the first try. This might take a couple tries, but we are going to see what happens tonight. I have studied this variation a little bit. There's 2 moves here for black. One of them loses immediately. Yes! Oh, we're going to first try. We're going to first try. This is the rare move. Bishop to e7. That is actually the trickiest try for Stockfish. But we're live right now, and we might first try this baby. We might be able to do this. The problem with putting the bishop on f6, while it looks good because it does block the f-file, you know, he just wants to get his knight out, he wants to castle, he's about to run into a massive attack. Bishop to a3. Let's go. I don't want to mess this up. I have messed this up already a few times. I refuse to mess up. I'm going to take my time. We're going to get this right. But here is the problem. If black castles, it will severely underestimate my attack. So I am shattering the pawns. And this is actually a really cool place. It's probably the only time I'm going to stop and really give the chat a chance to solve what we should be doing here. So this, I already know this. So we're not cheating. You're not giving me moves. I already know which move I'm going to play. But if you guys had the white pieces, what exactly would you guys play in this position? And then I'll start giving a few hints as we go along. Bishop d3 has been suggested. For sure, this is our main idea. We want to play bishop to f3, maybe queen to h3. We have ideas of targeting this weak h-pawn. We also have the h and g files to work with. Queen g2 is being suggested as well. Seems sensible enough. You're going to drive the king to the h-file. I assume if you do it right away, one issue is that after it moves, it actually might be able to defend. And the real reason I'm asking you guys for what you would actually do here is I want you to think of how black would defend. So I think somebody with a random question actually has already found potentially the right answer. And it has to do with the fact that we want to go here and here. We want to deliver mate this way. But if we do that, black will have the opportunity of playing knight to g6, which is why Random Questions is the one on the ball today, has suggested this very strange move. And at first sight, it looks weird. Like we have this active bishop, it's pinning the knight. But I am going to voluntarily give my bishop away to remove a potential defender of the king side. And now I'm going to go through with my maneuver, and I'm hopefully next going to be able to play queen to h3. Okay, so there's this. Another move I know as well is it can play f5 there, but this move makes sense as well. Black is trying to stop me from developing to h3. I know I've seen it. I'm pretty sure there's a tactic here. I just want to first try this. I don't want to mess this up. Oh my gosh. Queen g2 with the idea that after we force it to the corner, we have this nice little tactic. Bishop takes h7. Opening up the G and H files, there's no way the king will ever be able to take it. So the opponent has taken on d5. Black, we have to constantly watch out. The problem is this computer is so tricky. It's constantly going to be trying to defend. So here now I need to play queen to h3. I can't let the queen come in and defend. And some combination here of keeping the queen out of the game, bringing this rook into the game, and maneuvering this knight to f5 is the path to victory. So all I need to do is on my first try, put it all together in the optimal way and win this game. So I'm going to start with c4. Now I'm going to remember which one of these wins and which one doesn't. Knight h4. Final answer. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's here. Wait, I should check, right? So if I check, he can't take my bishop. Oh, no. Oh, no. Queen g2, final answer. Okay. So I really suspected that he couldn't take. But now the problem is, at some point I need to be able to use this H file, but I really can't allow the queen to re-enter the game. Yeah, also if I play here right away, is this some defense? I don't know. I feel like I need to play c5 at some point early here. But this does give black the opportunity to play whatever. Okay. So now, if I put this knight on f5, I should be winning the game. But also rook f1. Knight h5. Knight h4. Let's go. Final answer. Knight h4. Yes! Okay, we're winning. All right, we did it. All right, so this is for sure winning now. Computer has decided to lose its mind. That being said, I'm up material for the first time. So now we just easily weave the mating net. Super easy. I am considering knight f5, rook to f1, final answer, knight f5. And now my plan is bring the rook over, give the checkmate. Rook f1. This is actually unbelievable that I might do this on the first try. I've spent so long, and now it gives me an easy version. This is incredible because I'll show you guys the hard versions after. There are a lot of more complicated ways. If we feel bad for the fish, we can give it another try. I feel a little bit bad, but not too bad. Boom! First try! Thanks for coming to the stream. That did not take as long as I thought it would. That was too easy.